morning, everybody. My name is Caleb Plitos. Thank you so much for checking out the channel. Today, we're going to be testing something that I've been curious about for a long time. Now, I want to know what this car's 0 to 60 time is. So I've seen stock numbers and dyno tests on a few different Mustangs of this year. This is a 2005 Mustang GT, and I've seen all the baseline numbers, but this car has a few things done to it, and I really want to see what I'm actually making in my 0 to 60 time. I am not able to test that with my tuner that I have, so I am going to be using an app to test that. So let's get into what I've got going on with the car. Jumping under the hood, there's not a crazy amount of things that are modified on this vehicle, but it's definitely a little bit more advanced than stock. To start off, we have this Roush intake right here. This was about, I don't know, $350. Nothing super crazy alone, but in combination with a few things, I think it might make a difference. Down here, we have long tube headers. Those actually add a decent amount of power. We've got the long tube headers here, the catless mid pipe, that's an X pipe. Taking out those cats really does bring you a little bit more power on the table, as well as some Flowmaster axle backs to cap it all off. So this has a full exhaust system, the intake, as well as a tune just to wrap everything all together. All of that brings us to about just shy of $2,000 in performance mods. So we're gonna see if that $2,000 really actually makes a difference in the vehicle's performance. So now it's time to test the 0 to 60 time on this vehicle. I wasn't able to use my Bama tuner in order to do this. So what I did is I purchased this app. Actually, I didn't purchase it, it was free, but I downloaded it. And this is called Fast R. What this is gonna do for us is be able to give us a detailed 0 to 60 time, as well as it can do quarter-mile times and other things like that. We're gonna be using this to track our time on the application, and I'll be filming it with the GoPro at the same time here. So now we have our data from our tests. We took 4 tests. The first 0 to 60 time, it was a little off. I don't really know if I spun or something like that, but that one was kind of high at 6.0 seconds. The next 2 tests we did were 4.95 seconds, and then our last test was 5.0. So pretty consistent on those last 3 tests there at just under 5 seconds. And that's why I wanted to do a couple of runs, maybe if I spun a little bit. And also the road was definitely not perfect, had cracks and a slight up and down hill in some portions of the road. From what I've seen on paper and what I know the stock numbers that the Mustang GT makes, this is kind of what I expected. I expected very low 5s or maybe really high 4s, which I'm glad that we got down into the 4s. It's kind of a nice milestone to get into the 4 seconds, even though it's only at the top end of the 4 seconds, but it does feel really nice to have that. Now, compared to the stock numbers, the stock Mustang GT, as stated by Google and Motor Trend, has a 0 to 60 time of 5.1 seconds. Now, I know it doesn't seem like we dropped a lot of time, but there's a couple things that I want you to consider. One, this time was most likely taken on an absolutely perfect track, perfect day, most ideal conditions, brand new tires, probably the best ever time that a stock Mustang GT can put out. This is not a professional course, and these aren't anything from perfect conditions. So in theory, you're comparing an absolutely perfect 0 to 60 time to a 0 to 60 time that has some flaws to it. Another thing I want to talk about is the fact that that 0 to 60 time was done on a regular coupe, and this is a convertible. For those of you who do understand this and know this, that convertibles are normally heavier than the actual coupe because of the motor that it takes to move the top up and down and things like that. So due to the fact that this car is heavier and this time was not tested under absolute perfect conditions, like I'm pretty sure that the other one was, that can explain why these times are pretty close. So this brings up the question, is it worth it for almost $2,000 in mods for 0.15 seconds down on your 0 to 60? And I would say yes. Now, like I said earlier, I do believe that 0 to 60 time is a little bit bigger of a gap. I think that under absolute perfect conditions, this car could run a little bit better and a little bit faster on the 0 to 60, but it's still in the 4-second range, and I think that's well, in the 4 seconds, and I do believe that that's still a pretty quick car. One of the reasons why I believe that it's really worth it is because you're not just getting a faster 0 to 60 time, but you're getting more power over the entire horsepower range, and you can really feel that at all ends of the vehicle. When you're taking off from maybe 40 miles an hour or from a dead stop, you still feel that power gain, and that's one of the things that I noticed after I did all this work on the vehicle. So that's going to be all for this video, guys. I really hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if you think that this 0 to 60 time is good or bad, or maybe you have a better one on your vehicle yourself. Subscribe to the channel! Let me know. I really appreciate you guys checking this out, and stay tuned for the next video.